is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirts, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going to check out the video. What's good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. We're going to talk about the Chicago Bulls and Kris Dunn being almost done as a starting point guard potentially in the NBA because he has had a lot of injuries even in college. He had the shoulder injuries that helped him miss a lot of his games in Providence, and obviously it cost him to go a little longer in college, even though he did want to play a little longer, but the injuries didn't help his case because they still want to know if you can play and how serious the injury is and will it impact your NBA career. And obviously he hasn't really had that many problems after that, situation happened in college. Even in the NBA, he hasn't really had that many shoulder problems coming in. So I'm happy that he was able to fight adversity and get past that, and it didn't really hurt or help his NBA career. The biggest problem has been injuries when it comes to Kris Dunn because the guy just has not been able to stay healthy no matter what season it is. The most games he played was his first season, but he didn't really play that many minutes. He played 17 minutes a game, and he started 7 of those games. He only averaged 3.8 points that year, which was a huge disappointment considering that he was a guy that was a top 5 pick in that draft, and you would think that he'd have a bigger opportunity or he'd get the starting spot, but it didn't go down like that. He ended up becoming a role player. Then he ended up becoming an asset because even the GMs and the owners mostly the GMs voted that Kris Dunn was going to win Rookie of the Year, and he had the ability to really be a special player, but it didn't really work out that way because he ended up staying on the bench. And once Ricky Rubio went down, he was able to start a couple games, but he was never able to showcase how good he really was or the fact that he can take advantage of Ricky Rubio being out, that he'll potentially be a starter, which he will become one in Chicago, but he didn't really give the show that he should be starting in Minnesota because when he played in Minnesota, he didn't really play that well. Offensively, his defense was a little shoddy, and obviously he never really had any great or amazing games. They were just okay to solid games at best, and it really didn't help his case of being a top 5 pick in Rookie of the Year because you would think that he'd get that opportunity, he'd run with it, take it, and keep it, or at least showcase that he deserves to be a starting point guard on this level, but he didn't do that. Once Ricky Rubio came back, it was solidified that he was better than Kris Dunn, and Kris Dunn didn't really take advantage of the opportunity the way that a lot of us wanted to do. Of course, we don't want Ricky Rubio to be injured. We don't want him to be hurt. But a lot of people, when you be that high in the draft, and a lot of people know that you're a sight and you're a two-way player, we expect you to go out there and showcase why you deserve to be that number 5 pick, and he never really clicked it or got it going. But when he has become a starting point guard in the league. He played 52 games last year with the Chicago Bulls, and 43 of those games he started. He averaged 13 points, 4.3 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals while shooting 32 from the 3 and 42 from the field. Now, this season wasn't really a disappointment. It was a season that showcased that he can be a starting point guard on this league. And he can be a special type of player if he gets the right system and the right coach, and if his shot starts to fall. The problem with Kris Dunn is that he's not really aggressive consistently. In college, he was a guy that took it at you. He was a guy that could do whatever he felt like doing while still keeping his teammates involved, while still going hard defensively. And that just hasn't translated on the NBA level. His defense is nowhere near what we thought it would be compared to now that he's been in the league for 3 seasons. You would think the game would slow down. You would think he'd find his foot, and you would think that he'd go out there and play a lot better, considering that he now has experience in the NBA. And at the same time, the game should be much easier once you figure it out. You get used to the schedule. You get used to the certain type of way teams play you because you play multiple seasons. And on top of that, obviously, you would think that his scoring will be a lot more efficient because of his athleticism, his length, and his ability to really be a guy that can explode, especially if he gets a first step. And his playmaking showed that he can be a solid playmaker for a good team. And, 6 assists isn't a lot, but he never was a high assist guy in college either or in high school. But he was able to figure it out on the NBA level. And he's a guy that really, I thought off ball, he'd be a lot better of a cutter and somewhat more of a decent spot up shooter. Didn't really help his case either because he never really became a great off the ball point guard. And most point guards can usually knock down threes off the ball or at least keep the ball a little active and keep moving and continuously moving on a perimeter, not just standing around. But I give him a pass because he still has to learn how to shoot a little bit better. Never really been known as a great shooter, but he showed that he had the capabilities of being a solid one. And right now he's okay at three. He's a below league average, but he's not super below. Like he's not shooting 20% from three. He's shooting about 32. Like I said, that's fixable. And this year he's shooting 34.8, which is around league average, not at there, but not too far under, showing that he can be a capable 3-point shooter given the right room, right space, and the right opportunity. And that's something that he's going to have to continue to work on if he want longevity in his league outside of him being a young player. 3-point shooting has become the norm, and that's what everybody's doing, and that's what the players are looking forward to doing, and so is the coaches in the GM. That's one thing they always look at for athletes, and are they able to knock down the three? And he showed capabilities of being a great athlete and a decent 3-point shooter, okay 3-point shooter, which is what he needs to do if he wants to continue to be starting. Now, that's the question of the video. Is Zach LaVine a franchise point guard? Can he be a point guard on a championship team? Can he be an all-star caliber player? Can he figure it out before he's retired? Will he be starting 2 to 3 years from now? Can he ever become an all-star? Those are questions that coming into the draft we thought would be crazy because of how good he was in college and basically how good he was as just a personal talent. We thought that he would be there. Obviously, he hasn't got to that level or even close to being an all-star at this point. Um, you can actually make an argument that he went down this season. Yes, some of his efficiency is better, but at other than that, he has lost the aggressiveness. He has had major injuries this year, playing 44 and starting 42 of the 44 games, meaning he missed over 20 games, it seemed like. And that's tough and rough when you're trying to figure out a way to rebrand yourself and trying to figure out a way to find somebody that can be the future of your franchise. And Kris Dunn as a number 5 pick, you'll think with the upside of being a great defender and being an explosive offensive guy that can cause havoc while still keeping his teammates involved, whether it's shooting because they do have floor spacing with Laurie Markkinen. You have a guy that's capable of hitting shots and Wendell Carter in the future. You still have Zach LaVine, who has turned himself into a decent 3-point shooter. And obviously, you still have Otto Porter Jr., who has shown that he can be a sniper from three. You have the floor spacing. You have guys that can play on and off the ball like Zach LaVine. And obviously, Otto Porter is showing that a lot more in Chicago. And not only that, he has the talent. They just need to buy in defensively, and they just need to trust and continue to expand offensively on their skills. It's not easy to be a playoff team, even though they are in the East. But when you still learning how to play, still learning when to score, still learning how to continue to keep your teammates involved, it takes years for point guards to really figure out how to be great, how to balance it out, and how to continue to stay effective and aggressive to keep your teammates eating a lot easier. And that's the point guard job, to run the floor, to be the floor general, to be the point guard on the court. And Zach LaVine has tried to be a little hybrid shooting guard, being a guy that can handle the ball and obviously being a scorer and playmaker at the same time. I think that helps Kris Dunn a little bit because it allows him not to have the pressure to create for everybody every single possession. You have another great player that you can trust to get good shots for himself and others. Even though Zach LaVine isn't the playmaker that he needs to be, he has shown potential in the last couple years that he can be at least a 3, 4, 5 assist guy, which will benefit the Bulls in the long term, having a dynamic duo that can play off of each other is important, and that's something that we see with multiple backups and starting point guards. They very compatible with each other, and I feel like with them being good athletes and having good touch and being able to set up their teammates, that could be something special. But is Kris Dunn going to score enough points? Is he going to command attention? Is he going to continue to find ways to be effective and efficient? And is that jump shot going to be consistent? Those are going to be the major questions when you look at Kris Dunn. Can he be a lockdown defender? Is his time almost over? The guy is not as young as the other rookies because, I mean, as the other young players. He already played 3 seasons in the NBA. He's already 25 within 3 seasons. And honestly and truthfully, he just turned 25, but next year he'll be 26 already, and he only played 4 seasons because he went and stayed in college a little longer than the average player, which hurts his years of being young in the NBA. I love Kris Dunn coming out of college. I was a huge fan of his. I really thought he would be something special. He's exciting. He's fun. He can really be aggressive offensively when he's cutting to the basket, getting to the paint, and he can collapse the defense a lot too because of his speed and his quickness and his ability to get to where he wants to on the court when he wants to do it. But I haven't really seen that transition that much in the NBA. It seems like he's a lot more complacent, a lot more comfortable. He's not trying to attack. He's not trying to keep the defense on his heels, and he's not trying to really go out there and destroy his opponent like he'd do in college. He was reckless. He was aggressive, and he kept the defense guessing every possession because you really didn't know what he was going to try to do. I see him more calm and collective in the NBA, but I don't really see him causing all the chaos that I thought he would do coming into the league, which could be good or bad, but he's been injured regardless of his aggressiveness or not. He has had a lot of injuries, and on top of that, he has not really been able to transition defensively like we thought he would, which it's another level. You're going against bigger athletes, stronger athletes. Some are bigger than you, and some teams do switch a lot, or they force you to be a help defender, which is something that he had to adjust to and get used to, and he hasn't been able to do it. I still think that he should get about 1 or 2 more years at this starting point guard level because I don't really see them finding a point guard better than Kris Dunn in the draft, and if they do, then he's gone. And plus, if they really want to rush this build of the Bulls to make them more of a playoff team, the best thing would do would be trying to would be packaging some of their young players, which they have a lot of right now, and try to get an all-star caliber point guard or clear enough cap space where they can sign one, even though they are very, very young when it comes to their nucleus. So they should want to do it for the long term. Some teams get excited, some teams rush and try to go to win now playoff mode very quickly. We will see if the Bulls going to try to go win now mode. Will they slowly wait? Will they grind out the season? Will they be patient? Or will they try to rush and get to the playoffs real quick? Or even try to become a championship team quicker than what they really need to do to really build a foundation, really build chemistry, love, and trust, but also a family type environment, which I see them doing, but they have been able to translate it on the court because they don't know how to win, they don't know how to close, and they don't know how to get good, efficient shots. And on top of that, they don't play good enough defense to even compete with an NBA team. Those are things they're going to have to buy in, and those are things they're going to have to develop, and they're going to have to be able to create shots consistently and get quality shots throughout the games. And I don't think they've been able to do that. You can put that on the coach. You can put that on the players for not knocking down shots too. But can't really point the finger. It's about figuring it out, getting on the same page and getting in the direction that you want to go. And that's the right direction. That's the winning direction. And it's easier said than done to get there. But, eventually we'll see if the Bulls going to stay with Zach LaVine. We'll see if Kris Dunn is going to continue to start, or we're going to see if they're going to be patient. That's an idea that we don't know until 2 to 3 years from now. But 3 years from now, Kris Dunn is going to be 28. And to be only in the NBA 6 years and you're already 28, that's not that good. That's very crazy to be 28 years old in 6 years, how everybody coming out after 1 year. And now they might, even 3 years from now, they might even have the high school rule removed, so players come in even younger. And we'll see if Kris Dunn gonna be able to keep his spot. We'll see if Kris Dunn ever develops, and we'll see if he ever going to be an all-star caliber player like most of us thought he would be. And he hasn't been close to that level yet, but we'll see if he's able to reach it. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description, comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description, comment section below. I love making these videos. You guys enjoy watching. That's why I continue to go. Check out my playlists on my channel. I do breakdowns, discussions, tributes to the legends, summer league analysis, draft coverage, season previews, buyouts, and trade talks. I try to cover everything basketball as much as I can, no matter what day, what month it is. And I try to go every day if I could too. Thanks for watching. Quinn Wade gone. And let me know what you guys think about Kris Dunn, the Chicago Bulls. Will he be a starter, all-star? Will he be a superstar? Will he never get to that level, be a backup point guard, which it looks like? Or will he break out and finally get it and put it all together and become a star? Let me know what you guys think his outcome will be in the comment section below. I'm gone.